This episode of DG's Courtroom is sponsored by Draft, a daily fantasy app where your chances of winning are almost 3 times better than on FanDuel or DraftKings. On Draft, it's draft day every day. You can do a simple snake draft for one day whenever you want. Drafts take just minutes to complete. Download Draft now. Be sure to enter the promo code DFBPOD when you download to get a 100% deposit bonus. And with that, we're off. Welcome to the show for Wednesday, March 8th, 2017. An 11-game slate on tap? Question mark? Is that right? I can't remember now if it's an 11-game slate or a 12-game slate. Either way, it's a large slate. And now this is going to annoy the hell out of me. I'm pretty sure it's an 11-game slate. Let's just stick with that. Man, I was in a really good mood to start the show. And also, it's early for me. It's like 2:39 Eastern on late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning, however you want to look at it. But then I made the mistake of turning on a podcast that was already up for Wednesday's slate. I mean, it was just painful, pure brutality. I don't know if that's the kind of stuff that you guys want. The judge has no place in this world. I mean, honestly, I had to call a suicide hotline. I'm suicidal. It was so freaking. It was boring. I don't think they wanted to beat. They must have hated each other. I don't know. I cannot believe the crap that's out there. And first of all, one of the guys, won't not mention his name. He's super smart, and I'm actually a big fan. I don't know. The NBA is a long season, guys. It's a grind. I mean, and playing DFS as well. I mean, playing real life basketball and doing DFS. What are we in now? Game 60, something like that. And I felt it listening to their podcast. The pain. It was just, I don't know. Yeah. So if you guys want to listen to that kind of stuff, I mean, I'm not sure how you make it through. I'm perplexed. I'm puzzled and suicidal. So great way to start the show. Welcome to the show. I'm the judge. I'm your host, Daniel Green. You can find me at Twitter at Daniel A Green 1. I mean, shouldn't a podcast, if you're listening to it, shouldn't it be entertaining? Shouldn't you guys be? Do you want to be entertained? I'm not sure. I hope you guys do, and I hope that's why you guys are listening to my podcast. Because again, while hopefully you're making money and you're learning strategy and all that good stuff, hopefully you're being entertained as well. If you're investing as much time as you are in a DFS like I am, which hours and hours a day, or maybe it's not even that much, shouldn't it be enjoyable? And so it's just, I don't know, like other stuff that's out there. I'm more perplexed than ever, especially now after this. I have 60 games. Let's enjoy this, man. Let's try to have fun. Man, I did not think I'd be starting the show like that either. It was just, I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, before we start the show, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Man, if anything, the judge deserves some 5-star ratings after listening to that. Honestly, that stuff really does help. Means a lot. Please do that. Retweets when I tweet out the link to the show. Please retweet it out to the world. Let us grow the audience. Over 150,000 downloads in February. Glorious. Let's try to beat that mark for March. And I got a bunch of questions on Twitter. Not a bunch. I think it was like 2 regarding if I'm going to do MLB DFS. I'm still debating it. As you guys, as I just listened to that other podcast, they were worn down. I mean, DFS is a grind. So I'm going to see how I feel after NBA season. I mean, I would like to do something for you guys for MLB. MLB is first of all, I like doing MLB DFS, especially because you don't have to watch the games. It's strictly analytical based for the most part. You just look at data and pick your players based off of that, and then check the Doppler radar. So I mean, I maybe could do like a 10-15 minute pod every day regarding MLB DFS. I'm not really sure. I don't want to say anything certain at this point. We'll see how I feel. But hopefully I can do something for you. At the very least, maybe we can have MLB chambers. So please retweet when I tweet out the link to the show. Retweet it out. If we get 100 glorious retweets to the show, I will provide a 5 to 10 audio clip tomorrow or Wednesday around 6 p.m. Eastern, around an hour before lineup block, to give you my top plays based on all the wacky news that's probably going to happen between now at 2:45 Eastern and when the games tip off. As you guys know, a lot changes throughout the course of a day. Who might be a good play to, at the time I'm doing this now, a lot of value is going to open up. Maybe there'll be better plays. So If we get 100 retweets, I will give you that short little 5 to 10 minute audio clip. Please support the sponsor. Download the app Draft. When you do, use the promo code DFBPOD. And if you can't find out where to use the promo code, what's wrong with you, man? I mean, come on. It should be right there. But if you then still can't, because after I have a lot of people telling me they can't find it, just tweet at me at Daniel A. Green 1 and let me know your username on the app Draft, and we will get you hooked up for your deposit bonus, and then the judge will get credit as well. I want to say that, first of all, so we have a new bracket challenge. It's a 7-day Judges Chambers, a 7-day bracket challenge to the death, currently up on the homepage on Draft. You open the app up, right? The first thing you'll see, it's glorious, my friends. The Judges Chambers. That's how every app should be, man. You open it up and you see the Judges Chambers. Oh, what a beautiful thing. But the scary thing is it's filling up super fast. It's a $10 entry fee, only 128 spots, but 84 were already taken by the time I'm taping this. So when you listen, it might be filled up. If you want to get in that, I tweeted out the link right now, but you're probably sleeping. So I don't know when you're going to see it. But if you want to get in there, get in that. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, 7 days. Each day is a mano-a-mano, head-to-head duel on a snake draft. 5 players, 2 guards, 2 forwards, 1 center. Tons of fun. We had the finals, I think, took place for the last bracket challenge on Tuesday, the last Judges Chambers. I know at Stephen Cav is his name on the app. He was in the finals. I don't know if he won or not, though. He didn't tweet me if he won. So Stephen, though, let me know how you did. First place gets $500. So I'm curious. And remember, guys, I can't control the link to that. So there's people from Roto Trash that are in that trying to take us down. So either me or one of you guys must win that. That's why we need Stephen Cav to have won on Tuesday. I've gotten some emails or texts or tweets or DMs regarding if I'm still doing consultations. I don't know the answer to that. I can't figure it out. I have no time. I'm stressed. I'm busy. It's just so I don't know. If you catch me on the right day, I still might do one. I did like 1 or 2 over the weekend. I'm really doing like 1 a week maybe at this point. So I know a lot of you have reached out to me. If I haven't gotten back to you, reach out again. At the very least, I can at least respond to you. It's all a matter of time. I want to do them. I'm trying to find maybe in a weekend I can bang out like 5, 6, 7 consultations. Because I'm pretty sure the last 2 consultations I did, and granted, this is not saying everyone who's done a consultation is going to win a GPP. Last two people I gave consultations to, they took down GPPs. So congrats to those 2 guys. But then again, I haven't heard from some other people that I've given consultation to, so maybe they hate me. I'm not sure. Where are we? So let's talk Chambers for what, Tuesday? So Tuesday, as you guys know, was a crappy 3-game slate, and if you're playing a lot of money on 3-game slates, you probably have a gambling problem. I hate to break it to you, but it's okay. I have a little bit of a gambling problem as well. But in all seriousness, you shouldn't play your normal amount on small slates. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, hopefully you played small, and if you did play big, hopefully you played big and won. So in Chambers, we only had 2 of them running on FanDuel. We had 1 of them running on DraftKings. The winners, Scrumham SC with a score of 331, won 1 of the Chambers on FanDuel, and Too Tall Jamal took down 1 of the FanDuels with the highest score of the night with a 340. On this slate, it was an excellent score. This actually was a relatively high-scoring slate for only 3 games. And then on DraftKings, Rumham SC took first place, Too Tall Jamal took second place, and Niner Nation took third place. So congrats to you guys. Wednesday, back to a nice, delicious 11-game slate. So be a lot more fun, a lot more skill. Not saying the winners didn't have skill. It still took some skill, obviously. All right, let's hop into everyone's favorite segment, the Emmy Award-winning Dream Killers and Dream Lovers. What a fantastic segment this is. So before we get to the games, actual players, let's talk about something happened about 3 minutes before lineup lock, 6:57 Eastern time to be precise. I think that's when it happened. Maybe it's 6:58 Eastern time. It may have been 2 minutes before lineup lock. least that's when I saw it. And that's Dream Killer, the media, beat reporters, fantasy labs, because if you were if you played on this slate, you probably were aware that we got an erroneous tweet regarding who Phoenix was going to start, and they're starting for, who they're going to start tonight. It was tweeted out they were going to go small and start Ulis, Bledsoe, Booker, Warren, and Chris. And then after lineup lock, we got an oopsie. My bad. Phoenix is not going to – that was just like a beat reporter tweeting out a lineup he thought Phoenix might go to potentially in that game at some point, but he wasn't certain if they were going to use that lineup at all. Yeah. So, Soul Crusher to start the freaking night. I was pretty irate when this happened. Now, luckily, I had a girl that I'm somewhat seeing was over here at my apartment, and she was able to calm me down by basically getting naked, and that works. It's all about perspective in life. And by the way, I asked if I could use that story because, like, she saw me literally. I was getting enraged. The Twitter trolls were all over me. I was tweeting out, I want refunds. I was pretty pissed. That's about as mad as I'll get regarding. I mean, when we didn't on a 3-game slate, when you have someone tweeting out an erroneous starting lineup 2 minutes before lineup lock, that's pretty freaking bad. And I had a couple trolls coming after me. Oh, that doesn't affect projections at all. And plus, they wouldn't even use that lineup. One, I don't give a crap if it would have impacted projections. You know what that impacts? It impacts ownership. And on a 3-game slate, you're playing ownership. You're playing the ownership game. That's what you're playing. To take down a tournament, you need guys low owned. Did that absolutely impact the ownership levels of guys like Ulis, of guys like Chris, of Warren, of Alex Len, guys who you thought were going to be benched and then ended up starting? Abso-freaking-lutely it did. So the trolls who were talking to me about projections, those guys are absolute buffoons. And not to mention, I clicked on one of the guys' profiles. Go figure, he's a big fan of Rototrash, hashtag Rototrash, and he had like 3 NASCAR tweets in a row. It was just typical, and then I started laughing. But thank God I had a lady friend over here, and she literally got topless, and that made me. I could just see perspective, and then it got calm after that. But I was pretty pissed off because I'm not sure who to blame. For whatever beat reporter tweeted that out, that guy needs to be lynched. And then also, Fantasy Labs and Basketball Monster. And I think this one was. I think I only saw it by Fantasy Labs. I'm not sure if Basketball Monster tweeted out that potential starting lineup as well. Like those 2 sites are excellent regarding injury news. But it is a problem that those two sites compete against each other, and they try to tweet out and retweet any beat writer as quick as they can. And they should be somehow fact checking whatever the hell they're looking over. So I'm not sure who to blame. If maybe we just can't blame anyone and we just chalk it up to that just sucks. But it was not a good start to this slate. Man, in the game with the highest over under of the night, when again you're on a 3-game slate, especially my perspective is I'm playing the ownership game, and then you can't tweet out an erroneous freaking lineup. Just painful. So Soul Crusher to media, Fantasy Labs, and everyone else who was involved in that decision. All right, let's go to the actual games though for some other Dream Killers and Dream Lovers. So the first game of the night was OKC Portland. Actually, 2 of the 3 games were fun to watch. The Lakers Dallas, of course, was not, because the Lakers are basically tanking. They don't play any defense to save their freaking lives. When Dirk Nowitzki can get 25 actual points in a first half in 2017, not 2008, something is very wrong. But going back to the OKC Portland game, for the OKC side, Westbrook, he was 13.4K on FanDuel, 13.1K or something like that on DraftKings. He's smashed value. Jesus Christ, 21 for 39 from the floor. Dude's had over a 50% usage rate last 3 games. 58 actual points, career high for him. 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. I think he had close to 80 FanDuel points, right around there. He was sensational. The problem, if you tried to play anyone from OKC, was that everyone else sucked. I'm not sure what the hell is going on with Steven Adams. He played 29 minutes. You know how many shots he took? He took 1 more shot than you did. He took 1 more shot than I did. He took 1 shot. He was 1 for 1. 4 points. So you must be saying, oh, that's okay. You must have got a lot of rebounds, right? Against Portland, you can attack their bigs. Nope, 3 rebounds. So his price is plummeting like the Titanic. It's down to like 5.2 on DraftKings, 5.7K on FanDuel, and he is going to continue to drop. What was weird is God, does Westbrook need help? Now, yes, he's not passing the ball to anyone else, but Enes Kanter, give him some freaking minutes. Enes Kanter only got 18 minutes. I played a decent amount of Enes Kanter, and I got eaten up in every lineup I played him because guys like Dirk, even bums like Aminu, outperformed Kanter. If you played Kanter, you probably lost money in that lineup. It just didn't work out. Kanter was good when he played. He was 5 for 6, 11 points, 7 rebounds in 18 minutes. I'm not sure. Now you can say they played Steven Adams to defend Nurkic, and yes, I guess that makes sense because obviously we all know Kanter is not a good defender. But at some point, Westbrook just needs help offensively. So and you can play Adams and Kanter together. By the way, they're rolling out Sabonis. That just disgraceful. I mean, they might as well play Sabonis' dad. He's a better player right now than his son is. That's just 21 wasted minutes playing Sabonis every night. But Oladipo was okay. Only got 26 minutes, but he 16 points, 5 rebounds. Didn't get there though. He was still 6K on FanDuel. Taj Gibson, 3 points, 8 rebounds. It's not good enough. McDermott didn't get the minutes this game, so everyone else from OKC was an absolute disaster. If you tried to play Roberson, you probably were pissed off. On this slate, it did make some sense to take a shot with Roberson, but you saw why you can't play him. 35 minutes, no usage rate, stands in a corner. Westbrook never passes to him, and he's gonna stumble and bumble and fumble. You're praying for like 15 to 20 FanDuel points. But on this slate, when Mo Harkless is there, it's not going to be enough to play Roberson. For Portland, Lillard was pretty good again. He got close to hitting value, didn't quite get there, but he was still good. 22 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. CJ McCollum, man, I tried to play him. That didn't work out either. He played 37 minutes, couldn't shoot, shot 8 of 20. I like the usage. The usage was great, 20 shots. So he took more shots than Dame. 21 actual points. That sounds pretty good too. The problem was he did nothing else. Nothing. How can you not stumble and bumble and fumble into an assist or a steal? Even a block, just flail your hands up in the air. Like, honestly, from watching the games from my apartment, I'm just flailing my arms. I think I got a rebound. I'm pretty sure I did. He had no peripheral stats whatsoever. It's such a one-trick pony, and it's such a pain to roster. So if you played him, didn't work out. Harkless was not as good as he's been the last couple games, but still okay. Only got 5 shots. That's what pissed me off with him. Never a high usage guy anyway, but he still got close to getting you there. 6 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. That's what I mean. Nurkic, every time I watch Nurkic play, he gets bigger to me. And I'm not talking about like length. I'm not talking about like height. I mean in width. He made like Steven Adams look so little on the court. That guy's a monster. He was good again. Got into some foul trouble. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. So he was really good. Only 25 minutes, but man, that guy's just so supremely skilled. All right, let's get out of that game. The Washington-Phoenix game. This was the game we talked about where they gave us the erroneous starting lineup. Bledsoe ended up being really good in only 27 minutes. He had 30 actual points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Devin Booker had a pretty good game, one of his best games since All-Star break, 25 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. TJ Warren, he was a lock. Hopefully if you played on this slate, you had him. He was like the first guy you plugged in. He's been so steady since All-Star break, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. And the rebounds are not really misleading. That's what he's been doing lately. So he was good. Marquise Chris, not so good. That pick didn't work out too well. I think he got benched to start the second half, and I wasn't entirely sure why. I went to get a sip of soda or something. Went to my bodega, and I came back, and I saw he got like a technical. I'm not sure why he got benched exactly to start the second half, but he did for Derek Jones Jr., so that hurt him a little bit. Off the bench, Big Sauce Williams was really good again. 15 points, 10 rebounds. Every game he was good. Alex Len was surprisingly good. So if anyone had exposure, if you saw he wasn't starting, you probably might have taken him out. But only 22 minutes, had 8 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. So, I mean, that's basically what? close to 26, 28 FanDuel points at his salary. So if you played him, you probably did pretty well. Tyler Eulis was okay, not great. Didn't do enough to justify his price because his price tag came up. He had 22 minutes, 7 points, 5 assists, and most importantly, if you watch the game, he didn't look good. He was like a minus 25 when he was on the court. Washington destroyed Phoenix. For Washington, Wall and Beal were Wall was, I would say, excellent, especially because he shot 9 of 20. For him, that's a miracle. Even anything close to shooting close to 50% for John Wall, you sign up for that any day of the week. So 25 actual points, 14 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Great game for him. Beal was good, not excellent, because he's a one-trick pony too. Shot well, 10 of 20, 27 points, 5 threes, but he did nothing else. 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Didn't really pay off value. But he was okay. Gortat's basically going to lose his starting job. 19 minutes was a mess, 6 points. And same with Otto Porter. Otto Porter could lose his job. 24 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field. And Markieff Morris was not good either. And the guys off the bench who, if you played, they were in a lot of winning GPP lineups. Bogdanović. By the way, Bogdanović was like 20% owned in the slams. He wasn't even low owned. You know, he hasn't missed a shot since he was traded from Brooklyn to Washington. It's unbelievable. It's watching a different player. 29 minutes, 5 of 9 from the floor, 16 of 16 from the free throw line. I mean, I just stared at that. I stared at that for about 10 minutes before the show. 29 points, 9 rebounds. He was in every winning GPP lineup that I saw. It was unbelievable. And then Washington in the offseason, they signed Ian Mahinmi. And a lot of us were like, that was a waste. That was like the Mozgov signing. What a waste that was. And then he was hurt all year long. And he suddenly starts playing in the last couple of weeks and getting more minutes. And he's been really good. And on Tuesday, 26 minutes, 5 of 8 from the floor, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and then 1 stat that's just – actually 2 stats that are probably never happen again. One of them was 7 steals. He will never – if he ever gets 7 steals again, I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I just quit DFS forever if that happens. Because that – like, how does a 7-footer get 7 steals? That's 1 steal per foot. 1 steal per – I can't even say the joke. Man, whatever. I was trying to say one steal per foot. God damn it. Don't you hate that? When you have like a joke, and it wasn't even a good joke, but you have a joke lined up and you can't even say it coherently. Anyway, the other stat that was somewhat absurd was he was a plus 38 on the court, which is, remarkable. Anyway, so if you played him, congrats. I think he was about 1% owned. And that's, again, on small slates, you're playing the ownership game. So that's kind of a guy like that. That's what you have to do. You have to take risks with a guy like that. Let's go to this stupid Lakers-Dallas game. This game it's just, I hate, in real life, it's just disgusting. The Lakers are so bad. Randall, though, if you played him, Randall was a dream lover, for sure. 35 minutes. The good news was Luke Walton is playing all the young guys' minutes, even in blowouts. So Randall, Ingram, and Russell all got big minutes. Jordan Clarkson got big minutes, too. Randall was good, only got 8 shots, but had 13 points, 10 assists, 18 rebounds. So triple-double for him. He was glorious. Ingram sucked again, 13 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Stumbling, bumbling, fumbling, not even to 20 FanDuel points, or actually maybe a little bit more than 20. I think he got like 22. So for his price, that was okay. Russell, 22 points, 4 steals, 4 assists. Not bad. The problem is Russell isn't cheap. So I didn't see him in many winning lineups. For Dallas, Dirk went nuts for him. 24 minutes, 9 for 13 from the floor, 11 rebounds, 25 points. If he would have played more minutes, he could have had 40, 45, 50 FanDuel points. Harrison Barnes was okay. Yogi Ferrell was okay. I mean, everyone from Dallas was just okay besides Dirk. I mean, no one played a ton of minutes because they blew the Lakers out. So, yeah, that's about it. All right, so that was that three-game disaster. So on Wednesday, remember, we got 11 games. So what city are we in? What city? We're in Cape Town, South Africa. That is right. Man, we're going to have some serious jet lag. We've been flying all over the world lately. Remember, why are we in Cape Town, South Africa? Because it is one of the top 10 cities in the world. if you are a single person looking for love, because there are options everywhere. Beautiful women everywhere. Beautiful fellas everywhere. There's just options. You don't have to settle at all. So, Cape Town, South Africa. I don't know much about it, so I'm going to do some exploring, hopefully. After the show, I'm going to go explore. So, injury news. D. Wade still dealing with the thigh. He's doubtful. And Rondo with an ankle. Butler wasn't great last game. I think he was around 40, 45 FanDuel points because LeBron and Kawhi both went nuts. Butler was actually a dream killer. But still, if Wade is out and Rondo is out, I think Butler has like a 38% usage rate. Even without Wade, he sees, I think close to a 6% usage bump or something like that. So Butler is going to be an elite play on this slate. He's due to have like a 60 FanDuel point night. Plus, the Bulls better start winning some games. They're gonna fall. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Like the stupid Miami freaking Heat never lose. So I mean, there's teams breathing down their throats right now, and they got to win games. Vucevic is questionable for Orlando. So if he's out again, you got all 4 Orlando guys still in play, and their prices haven't gone up. Alfred Payton for tournaments. Fournier is beautiful for cash. Terrence Ross is still an elite cash game play, in my opinion, even though he let us down last time out. And Aaron Gordon's an elite cash game play at his price. So, I mean, man, it sucks playing all these Orlando guys on large slates, but they're all really good plays again if Vucevic's out. For Miami, Tyler Johnson and James Johnson are both questionable. If those guys are out, you got to like the guards. So Dion Waiters coming off a monster game is going to be a good tournament play again. Dragic will be a good tournament play as well. Maybe Josh Richardson. Shelvin Mack and Derek Favors are going to be out for Utah. So potentially maybe we play Rodney Hood. God forbid. I did it last game, and then they basically rested him, played him not even 20 minutes. If Rodney Hood gets minutes at his price tag, though, he's an elite tournament play on this slate. Maybe some Gordon Hayward finally, and Gobert as well, because Utah, as we'll get to in a second, Utah's playing way up in pace against Houston. So this will be slate. I will be playing some Utah guys. I could see 2-3 Utah guys in winning GPP lineups, which is a rarity. Also, George Hill is questionable with a toe. So if George Hill is out, man, someone's got to score for Utah. So Gordon Hayward's going to get all the shots in the world. Man, he could finally come through for us. And Rodney Hood as well. He'll see a big usage bump. Ryan Anderson's questionable. They're actually doubtful with back spasms. So, man, do we finally fire up a guy like Sam Decker, maybe? Carmelo Anthony, questionable with the sore left knee. If he's out, Porzingis is a good play. And on paper, Derrick Rose is, but Derrick Rose got benched in the entire fourth quarter last game and drove me to almost break my gavel. Damari Carroll is questionable with an ankle sprain. If he doesn't play, guys like PJ Tucker are interesting. Maybe even a Norman Powell, Patrick Patterson, even maybe. Jokic is dealing with an illness for Denver. If he's out, Plumlee obviously is a really good play. And not Tyson Chandler. Dear God, don't ever play Tyson Chandler right now. Wilson Chandler is an excellent play. Al Horford, questionable with an elbow. And that's about it. All right, let's take a little oh no, where's my sound effects? Hold on. Don't mind me, everyone. Just enjoy the scenery of Cape Town, South Africa, while I just sit here. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Okay, you guys ready now to take a little oh, here we go. We're flying. Our trip to South Africa is over. We're flying to Vegas. Man, we weren't in South Africa very long. That was fast. Get off this. Stop this damn video. Anyway, all right. Now we're in Vegas. I feel much more at home. I didn't like South Africa. I was nervous. I didn't know the language. I was getting weird looks from people. I don't know. So 11 games. 5 of them are disgusting in terms of over-under. So if you want to narrow the player pool just based on an over-under, which some days is not the smartest move in the world, but if you want to do it, it's pretty easy to narrow it down. You can take games like Sacramento, San Antonio. The Spurs are favored by 15 points. Kawhi's been maybe the best player in the NBA last week and a half, but do you really want to play anyone in cash in that game? Nope, I don't. Bulls, Orlando, that game, yes, I will have some cash game exposure there. Toronto, New Orleans, do I really need exposure to that game? Not necessarily. Charlotte, Miami, 204 over under. I mean, that's more of a tournament game for me. And Detroit, Indiana, that's definitely a tournament-only game for me at 206 over under. The juicier games are Washington, Denver. Washington is on a back-to-back, and they did have to work hard to beat Phoenix. But a 227 over under. Denver's favored by only 1 point. That game on paper, man, that could be such fantasy gold. That game is so juicy. It makes me so excited. You have Boston, Golden State. Golden State's favored by 8.5 points. Boston should be able to keep that game close. Golden State has not looked good since Durant. Clay hasn't been able to make anything, and Steph hasn't been that great either. So that should be a pretty fun game with a 222 over under. Brooklyn, Atlanta. Atlanta playing way up in pace, 219 over under. And then you got Utah, Houston, 214 over under. Like I said, Utah playing way up in pace as well. And then you got the Knicks. You're always going to attack the Knicks. The Knicks at the Bucks. The Bucks usually play pretty slow, but that's a 211 over under. I like that game as well. Teams playing up in pace. I like 3 things in life. Maybe 4, but the 4th one I'll keep to myself right now. 3 things are the Bailiff, who's if you're new to the show, some people have asked me, who the hell is this Bailiff you keep talking about? Bailiff is my dog. He's a French bulldog. His real name is Ed Harris, like the actor. He does have an Instagram too, if you guys want to check it out. It's ed.harris.frenchie. And then you can see all of Ed Harris's adventures, or as you guys know him as the Bailiff's adventures. His rough life. So I love the Bailiff, I love pace, and I love usage. Also, I was going to put this in the Dream Lovers and Dream Killer segment, and I forgot to. So currently, right now as a Dream Lover, I have, man, what's this game called? God dang it, now I'm going to have to Google it while I'm doing the show. It's something called, it's a new video game. Yeah, so Horizon Zero Dawn. If you guys play video games, I'm old. So I haven't played video games, man. I'm trying to think, I can't even remember the last video game that I played. Maybe it was like a game called Destiny on Xbox One or on some type of Xbox 360. I don't remember. One of the Xbox, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. So I'm not a big video game player, but like a bunch of friends kept raving about this game. So I actually bought a PlayStation 4, and I bought this Zero Dawn, whatever this is, Horizon Zero Dawn, whatever this game is. And because my friends just won't shut up about it, and I felt like I had to start playing this stupid role-playing game. So, and I have no time anyway, and I guess it's a game that, it's like a huge expansive world, a role-playing game. So when am I going to find the time to do that? But anyway, if you guys have played that, let me know. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, I was pretty surprised. One day I was, let me, because it's only on PlayStation, and I had an Xbox, but my Xbox is old, so I was like, you know what? Whatever, I'll just buy a PlayStation 4. Maybe I'll start playing video games again in my advanced age. So that was gonna be a dream lover, potentially. Although I haven't played yet. Instead, I'm doing this podcast for you guys. I could be playing this beautiful game right now, being lost and transfixed in this glorious world, and not having to think about Roto Trash and someone tweeting out an erroneous Phoenix Suns starting lineup. Gosh darn it. God, thank God that girl was here to give me to see some naked breasts, because man, perspective, Judge, perspective. All right, pace. So Atlanta playing way up in pace against Brooklyn. Boston playing way up in pace against Golden State. Utah playing way up in pace against Houston. Those are really the main 3. And then you got Washington playing a little bit up in pace against Denver as well. All right, let's hop into the plays. Hop into the plays at each position. My FanDuel screen is not up, of course. I'm so unprepared for this show today. All right, so in terms of the overall slate, you got Harden, Anthony Davis, Karl-Anthony Towns, Giannis. Why isn't Giannis' price dropping on FanDuel? I think it is on DraftKings. I think on DraftKings it's like 9.8K. Normally DraftKings is much better with prices. They're much more proactive. And FanDuel just is so stubborn. FanDuel is like a 75, 80-year-old man. Just a stubborn old man. It just, what are you doing? Like, come on, let's get moving. Man, like Giannis should be under 10K on every freaking site. So 10.8K for him is still, that sickens me, that price tag. The interesting thing, I'm looking at some of the stars in play, DeMarcus Cousins is only 9.5K. So while Anthony Davis is still 11.2K, Cousins is very intriguing price tag for me, just looking quickly. But let's start at point guard like we always do. Steph Curry, 10.4K. Now, on paper, Isaiah Thomas might be the worst defensive point guard in the league. But the question here I'm asking you and myself simultaneously is who's going to be guarding Steph Curry? I find it hard. I mean, the problem is if Isaiah's not guarding Curry, are they going to put Isaiah Thomas on Clay? That really wouldn't make a lot of sense either, right? So I do think Steph Curry is going to have some Isaiah Thomas defense. I'm sure he'll also get some Avery Bradley and some Marcus Smart, but he's going to get some Isaiah Thomas. So I think Curry's an elite tournament play. Do I feel the need to play him in cash when point guard's loaded on an 11-game slate? He hasn't been shooting well. He's expensive. No, I don't. So I won't play him in cash. But for tournaments, I will, absolutely. John Wall, 10.2K. Wall's a guy at his price that I just don't see much of a ceiling. He was great on Tuesday, 58 Vandal points, but that's about his max. On a 3-game slate, that can probably help you win a tournament. On an 11-game slate, let's say he plays just as well as he did on Tuesday, and he gives you 58 Vandal points. Will that be enough? I don't think it will be. With that said, at Denver in that fast-paced game, man, how can you not stack that game? So I'll have exposure to him in tournaments for sure. And his floor is pretty safe. He's going to give you, I think, a floor of like 40 Vandal points in the super high-paced game, fast-paced game. So safe for all formats, John Wall. Although just the ceiling does worry me a tad. But man, in that altitude, it should just be emoji rockets. Isaiah Thomas, 9.4K. Similar question that I asked about Steph Curry, right? Who's going to be guarding Isaiah Thomas? I would think that they'd probably put Clay to start the game on Isaiah. Because Steph never guards the opposing point guard anyway, if the point guard's offensively skilled, because Steph Curry is not a good defender himself. So Isaiah, good, still a good spot. A high over/under game. But Avery Bradley is probably going to play. Horford's questionable. Probably tournaments only for me for Isaiah, although I will have a Curry-Isaiah stack for sure in that game. Chris Paul, 9K. I don't know, man. There's just nothing exciting about playing Chris Paul. It's boring. If you want to throw him in a cash game lineup, it's fine. He'll probably stumble and bumble and fumble close to 40 Vandal points. And if you want to play him in a tournament, I would suggest you use some correlation theory or correlation methods and play him with a DeAndre Jordan, with a Redick, someone he's going to get some assists to. Kemba Walker, 8.3K. I just want to fade this Charlotte-Miami game. But Kemba's been too good to just ignore Kemba. He's been last 4 games. It's not the Charlotte Batums. It's the Charlotte Walkers. 47, 43, 46, 44 Vandal points his last 4 games. He's been great. Offensively, he's been fantastic. The assists have been good. He's given you like 7, 8 assists. So Miami does have good guards. They can guard the perimeter pretty well. Dragic is an okay defender. Then Josh Richardson's pretty good. Tyler Johnson, I guess, he may be out, right? So if he's out, then maybe I'll like Kemba even a little more. So Kemba's fine. Just 5-game slate, I'd be super excited to play Kemba. On an 11-game slate, I don't know, man. It's just I'm not that excited, but if I play 10 lineups, I'll probably have 2 with Kemba in it. Drew Holiday, 7.6K. Just don't feel I'm trying to convince myself to do it against Toronto. The price is dropping a little bit, but not as fast or as much as I would like. If it was like 7K, I would like to play some Holiday. 7.6K, tournaments only. And obviously, if you play Holiday these days, remember the usage rate takes a monster hit with AD and Cousins. So you need him to get assists. So maybe team up with the Cousins. That could work out. Goran Dragic, 7.4K. I do think one of the Miami guards is going to go nuts. Dion Waiters went nuts last game. It could be Dragic this game. So I'm not going to have I'll have lineups playing either a Dragic or a Waiters. I probably will not play both in the same lineup, although that is one way to differentiate yourself. Although on an 11-game slate, it's not very hard to make a unique lineup. Dragic is in an okay spot, 7.4K. I just don't love it because it's an 11-game slate. Jeff Teague, 7.2K, tournaments only. Ricky Rubio, 6.9K, against Chris Paul, tournaments only. Dennis Schroeder is going to get Brooklyn. He was playing phenomenal last game against Golden State. I think he had close to like 30 Vandal points in the first half. And then he got in an argument with Dwight Howard over something. I don't even remember what they were arguing about, like defensive assignments or something. And then Dennis Schroeder left Steph Curry. He left him open for a wide open three, which Curry hit. Coach Bud took Schroeder out of the game, didn't put him back in. So Schroeder played, I think, 2 minutes in the second half, and he's probably playing his best game of the year. Now, why Coach Bud didn't bench Howard? Because Howard, was equally at fault. I thought, that's something I will not know. But I'm not a coach. I don't get to make those decisions. Man, he was playing. He was crushing too. He was destroying Steph Curry. Damn shame. So Atlanta gets Brooklyn. I like all the Atlanta guys. As you guys know, you can attack every Brooklyn position, similar to how you can attack every Lakers position. So Schroeder's fine. Probably tournaments only because he's not cheap. The criminal, I don't really want to go to jail on this 11-game slate because now the Knicks get Milwaukee. Milwaukee slows the game down, and they do defend the point guard position pretty well. So I don't really feel the need to go to prison with Derrick Rose on this slate. Not to mention, man, when I played him in some pretty high entry fee tournaments because I thought he was just super safe play. He still got me 25 FanDuel points, and he shot horrifically, by the way, because Melo was out. He sees like close to I think it was like a 9% usage bump without Carmelo. And without Brandon Jennings, who's traded. So I thought he was so safe, and he was getting like close to 40 minutes a night. So, of course, the one day I roster him in some really high-entry tournaments, he gets benched the entire fourth quarter. I wrote Hornacek a really evil note. I should read it on the air. Oh, man, lots of cuss words. So I don't feel the need to do it. If Melo's out, though, man, in tournaments, I will play one Derrick Rose criminal lineup. Elfrid Payton, he's the captain of the Magic Mountain team, 44 FanDuel points last game out against the Knicks. That's why Derrick Rose got benched, because Elfrid Payton was destroying Derrick Rose. So they went with some backup bum who I can't even remember his name. It wasn't even Ron Burgundy Baker. It was another guy the Knicks, picked up off the street. But Elfrid Payton, he has 40, 50 FanDuel point upside. He's always a tournament play. And you can attack the Bulls point guards. The Bulls point guards are a mess. Grant, MCW, Rondo's questionable. So Elfrid Payton's a really good tournament play. Let's see. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of the Lawson-Collison combination against the Spurs. But they're both cheap, so it's not horrible. Jameer Nelson just stands in the corner. I don't want to play him. Reggie Jackson. On the last podcast, I mentioned that I really loved him for tournaments. I know a bunch of you took advantage of it and tweeted me thanks, which I appreciate. Sometimes the judge likes to hear some thanks. I definitely hear from the trolls every time I make a bad pick. Man, all the trolls come at me. Where's the love, man? Whenever I make good suggestions, man, I get like one positive reinforcement for every 10. That's how life is in general, right? We need more positive reinforcement in the world these days, and the real bosses in real life need to be doing that as well. Give some positive feedback to people, man. So Reggie Jackson, 5.2K against Indiana. Elite tournament spot. Yes, it's a concern. Can you play him in cash games? Probably not. He got 31 minutes, 36 FanDuel points. So he gave you like 7 times his salary. If he gets 30 minutes, he's probably going to crush value. That price is when he's playing like his full allotment of minutes, he's a 7K player. So, look at the discount you're getting. Now, the reason he's so cheap is because he's been bad and he's getting benched occasionally. So tournaments only, probably. Corey Joseph, if you're stuck and don't know what to do, he's just a boring, safe cash game play at 5K. People are overlooking him. He's still, at least on FanDuel, very, very fair price. Let me see what he is on DraftKings. He's 5.3K on DraftKings. He's fair on both prices, man. He's always under-owned. No one's playing him. I played a lot of him last time out, and he had 31 FanDuel points. People just ignore him. Brogdon, 5K. He's a very intriguing tournament guy. The usage has not been great. With Middleton's taking up a lot of the usage. But against the Knicks, Derrick Rose, we saw what Elfrid Payton did against Derrick Rose. So I like Brogdon for tournaments. Other than that, I don't really want to spin the whittle, spin the whittle, quiddle, fiddle, shittle. I'm not playing that guy from Brooklyn. I don't really want Dellavedova. Remember, 11-game slate. I don't feel the need to force a point guard. What about Dante Exum? What did he do last game? He probably did nothing because he never does anything. 25 minutes, 13 FanDuel points. Take advantage of your opportunity, young fella. Tournaments only, Dante Exum. So shooting guard, James Harden against Utah. That's tournaments only. He's so fat. Is he fat or not? Can someone tell me the answer to this? Or is it just me? Am I the only one who sees this? I'm mesmerized by his fatness. He's obviously, yes, he's supremely gifted, talented. Him and Westbrook are going to win. One of them's going to win MVP. But to me, he looks so out of shape on the court right now. Giannis is 10.8K. I'm so disgusted by that price. I like him on DraftKings where he's at like $1,000 cheaper. He is getting the Knicks. But I just don't understand why he's not aggressive. It doesn't make sense to me. Tournaments only. DeMar DeRozan's 10K. If you want to play a one-trick pony with no ceiling, hello, DeMar DeRozan. I don't know what to say about that. The usage rate's like over 40% without Kyle Lowry, but literally, if you stick your hand up, there's not going to be a ceiling. If you literally wherever you are right now, I don't care if you're at your office, you're at home. If you're inside any place, get a ladder. I want you to climb on the ladder, and what I want you to do is I want you to put a hole in the ceiling, and I want you to stick your hand through the hole. And when you imagine DeMar DeRozan, I want you to imagine you putting your hand through a wall or a ceiling. No, it has to be a wall without a ceiling. Basically, what I'm trying to say, because there's no ceiling with DeMar DeRozan at that price. Now, could he still get you 40, 45, 50, maybe? Sure. But is that going to be enough to take down a tournament? I just don't see it. He'd have to get you like 60 actual points. Bradley Beal, 7.7K against Denver. We love to attack Denver shooting guards. Beal is coming off a back-to-back, but yeah, why not? The Wall-Beal combination, a lot of Beal's threes come on Wall assists. I like that pairing on Wednesday. Nick Batum, 7.2K, so his price has come up a little bit. It's okay. He's been better the last 2 games. It's just a boring cash. He's normally a cash game play for me. Not much upside with him. Klay Thompson. So Klay in the last week has cost me so much money. Wow. I think I had 80% exposure to Klay Thompson against Atlanta, and he put up 17.5 FanDuel points at his price. The price has come down now a little bit, 6.7K. You know what? I'm gonna go all in again. I made my ruling. I'm not gonna go 100% in, but as of right now, I'd probably say I'm gonna play about 50% of Klay Thompson. It's just he's not gonna keep shooting that bad for that long. Now I am a little bit worried about Avery Bradley defense. That guy's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So maybe I limit my exposure to Klay a little bit. But his usage rate is so delicious without Durant. He can't keep missing all these shots. He's due to have a big game. I love the over/under. I love this game. So to me, maybe you don't want to play him in cash. I get it, but he's still a really good tournament play. So is Waiters. Waiters an excellent tournament play. You saw what he did last game. He thinks he's the greatest player in the NBA. He really does. He had 41 FanDuel points, 29 points, actual points, 5 assists. He's going to gun the ball. So the game before last game, though, he was dreadful previously. So tournaments only at that price. Tim Hardaway Jr., an elite tournament play. Only 5.9K gets Brooklyn. Man, when he plays, he jacks up the ball, so he could easily give you between 30 and 40 FanDuel points. He's in an excellent spot. Evan Fournier, I mentioned him. His price just doesn't go up. It stays the same. It's 5.3, 5.4K every night. And yes, does he stumble, and fumble his way? Is it painful to roster? Are you always frustrated with how he starts games? Yes, but that's he's a really safe cash game play. And to me, if Vucevic's out, he could be safe for all formats. The one thing I'm pondering as I say this is, if I'm the Bulls, I probably put Jimmy Butler. Do I put him on Fournier, or do I put Jimmy Butler on Terrence Ross? I'm not sure. If I hear Jimmy Butler's going to be guarding Evan Fournier, then I would not want to play him as much. But I still think at that price, he's fine. Gary Harris. Right now, I'm so tilted over that guy. It's going to be tournaments only for me with him. KCP, another guy. His price is so nice right now. It's 5.1K on FanDuel. He's been a Magic Mountain guy though lately. He's done this to me 2 or 3 times this year. He'll tease me with a string of games where I think he's ready to be cash game viable, and then he puts up a dud. So he gets Stan Van Gundy loves him more than any Piston ever. I'm pretty sure they're having a slumber party right now. They're in their pajamas. They're doing whatever they like to do, whatever Stan Van Gundy does. I think Stan Van Gundy plays an instrument. I forgot what instrument he plays. So maybe they're jamming together. They're having a jam session. But KCP, at that price, he could put up a 40 FanDuel point night. So he's an elite tournament play. But for cash games, if you don't want to play him, I get it. But if you tell me KCP is going to get 35 minutes against Indiana, man, to me that seems wrong that he's so cheap. Courtney Lee, believe it or not, Courtney Lee, if Melo's out, Courtney Lee's a really nice cash game play. It sounds, I feel sick saying that. I object to myself. Lou Williams. So Lou Williams, finally, the price is fair. It was like it was over 6K. Since he was traded to Houston, he had a couple bad games, and now he's down to 4.9K. Now that's a price tag you can play in tournaments. Not a good matchup against Utah. Probably won't see a lot of minutes, but if he comes in and gets hot, he can help you win a tournament. I don't love it though. But I like the price. Rodney Hood, 4.3K. To me, against Houston, with all their injuries, if George Hill is out, Derek Favors is out, man, if he's going to get minutes, he's an elite play. The minutes caught me off guard last game. I did not think they would bench him, but they were playing, I think, Brooklyn, right? Or actually, no, they're playing the Pelicans. So it was a back-to-back, though. This is not a back-to-back. I would expect him to get minutes, and I'm going to have a lot of Rodney Hood on this lineup or on this slate. Other than that, J.J. Redick is dirt cheap. LeVert, I always play one lineup with LeVert. He's super talented. That's about it. All right, small forward. Let's see. So Kawhi's 9.6K, but San Antonio is a 15-point favorite against Sacramento. I mean, how many minutes is – and I think the Spurs are on a back-to-back. They play on TNT on Thursday, I think. So, how many minutes can Kawhi get? So, to me, tournaments only for Kawhi. Jimmy Butler, to me, it's just lock and load. Just get him in your cash games. This game could be ugly with Chicago-Orlando, but even in an ugly game, Butler should fill up the stat sheet, and he's due for like a 60 FanDuel point night, and his floor is like 40. Paul George against Detroit, tournaments only. Just one of the most frustrating players ever. Hashtag Tin Man. Hashtag I hate you. Hashtag La La Land. So wait, is Carmelo playing or not? So I guess Carmelo said he plans to play Wednesday against the Bucks. Well, isn't that great, Carmelo? You plan to play. What an idiot Carmelo is. Why wouldn't you just get traded? Just waive the no-trade clause. Do you think he's being, like, honorable, staying with the Knicks? No one wants him here in New York. Get out of here. Like, what are you doing? It just makes no sense to me. You know how I love the podcast Missing Richard Simmons? And one of the theories is that Richard Simmons, like housekeeper, is basically holding Richard Simmons hostage in his own house. Maybe Lala is holding Carmelo hostage, is holding his no-trade clause hostage. Like, Melo maybe does want to be traded, but Lala doesn't want to move away from New York, so she's telling Carmelo, no, you can't get traded. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's missing Carmelo Anthony. Do a podcast on that. I don't understand. Can we, honestly, I would like to do a podcast all about why he won't waive this no-trade clause. I don't get it. Why is he still on the freaking Knicks? Man. With that said, tournaments only. Andrew Wiggins, another guy. He was still doing so well without Levine, and then he became Andrew Wiggins. Granted, some of it was just he had tough matchups. So, yeah, he played the Spurs in Utah, too. Kawhi defense and Utah defense. So, due to recency bias, people are going to forget how good he was. Now he gets the Clippers. Mbah Moute is not a bad defender, but Wiggins is a really interesting tournament spot. Everyone's going to play Butler. People are probably still going to play Kawhi because he's been so good. People will still play Paul George. They recognize the name. And Gordon Hayward's going to be a good play on this slate. So Wiggins will be overlooked. He becomes a sneaky ninja tournament play for me now. Gordon Hayward, man, I don't ever use this guy because to me, he fumbles like 35 FanDuel points, and that's not enough to win a tournament. But against Houston, with all those guys not banged out, man, maybe this is the night we use him. It's a fair price, 7.7K. So, yeah, I like him. He's safe for all formats on this slate. Wilson Chandler, 6.8K against Washington. He went nuts with 57 FanDuel points last time out. If Jokic is out, he sees all the usage in the world. But still, that's not cheap. So he's still going to be tournaments only for me. Gallinari, he's on the team, stumbling, bumbling, fumbling his way to 30 FanDuel points every night. It's just a lock. So he's a safe cash game play. Other than that, Jay Crowder. It's a nice spot for Jay Crowder. Another guy I don't mind for cash. Doesn't have a big upside. He's stumbling, bumbling, fumbles between 20 and 30 FanDuel points. Chris Middleton. He's been excellent. Very fair. The problem with me right now on FanDuel is Terrence Ross to me is so dirt cheap. I find it hard to fade him in cash games. And then I want to use Middleton as well in cash games at 5.7K. But I also feel the need to use Jimmy Butler. So I'm not sure what to do. Right now, I think I would lean Terrence Ross and Jimmy Butler as my two small forwards on FanDuel. But if there's another cash game guy I'd look hard at, it'd be Chris Middleton. Maybe I go Middleton instead of Ross, maybe. But, man, 4.5K for Terrence Ross, getting like 35 minutes. Oh, man. Either way, I will definitely be playing Middleton on this slate. Too cheap. He should be over 6K. Ariza, tournaments only. Ronnie Hollis-Jefferson. God, if you watch Brooklyn play, their best player is Ronnie Hollis-Jefferson. It's him and LeVert. They're both really good. Like, I don't know what the hell Atkinson does to never allow anyone to play over 24 minutes. I don't get it. Like, they're not tanking because they don't have a draft pick. So why doesn't he give his young guys minutes? This is another. I want a whole podcast on this. Missing minutes. Where are they? Why do you feel the need to give minutes to Joe Harris, to all these other bums? LeVert and RHJ should be getting 35-plus minutes a night. So 4.6K is, I will have one lineup of LeVert, probably a lineup of Ronnie Hollis-Jefferson too. That's a very fair price. Just if you play them, no, they're only going to get like a maximum of 26 minutes. Terrence Ross, I mentioned 4.5K. It's just so cheap. I know he let us all down last game with 12 FanDuel points, but if he plays 35 minutes and he doesn't give me 25 FanDuel points, I'll break my gavel tomorrow. Now, yes, Jimmy Butler could be defending him, and that worries me a little bit. But it's just if he was 6K, then I would probably fade. But at 4.5K, it's so dirt cheap. I mean, come on. Other than that, Jaylen Brown, it's not bad. Bogdanovic again. Bogdanovic only 4K on FanDuel. I mean, he's consistently giving you like 30, 40 FanDuel points. So against Denver, high-paced game. Yeah, why not? Joe Ingles, 3.9K. I mean, Utah's playing way up in pace. Someone's got to play, but remember, Favors and George Hill are probably going to be out. So Ingles is dirt cheap. Can he give you like 26 FanDuel points? He did last game. So I don't mind that one bit. 3.9K, and then it allows you to get a star in your lineup. So Ingles, to me, safe for all formats. All right, power forward. Hold on, you sip of water. Anthony Davis, 11.2K. To me, it's going to be tournaments only, and that's an expensive price tag to pay an 11-game slate. I don't really see him having much of a ceiling at that price tag. If he was what Cousins is, like under 10K, I'd be much more intrigued. Blake Griffin hasn't made me money since 2014, it seems like. So at that price tag, whatever. I mean, he'll play, but he's going up against Sleepy Gorgie Dang. He's okay. He'll get you around 40, I think. Draymond Green, 8.2K. Yeah, to me, this is a really good. I like stacking this game. I think Draymond Green has been pretty good without Durant. A very safe floor, safe for all formats. He's got a nice floor with a decent ceiling right now. Paul Millsap gets Brooklyn, so all the Atlanta guys are fine. The issue with Millsap is the usage rate. It's always going to be usage rate. You watch him play, he's good. He's going to get you close to 40. Very safe for all formats, but normally not a great tournament player because of the use of the usage rate. Serge Ibaka, 6.8K. He's not cheap. You can attack Anthony Davis defense though. Also, Ibaka will be playing the 5, so he's probably gonna be guarded by Cousins a lot too. He's fine. I feel much better about him on a 5-game slate. An 11-game slate, I don't feel the need to do it. Porzingis, you attack Bucks bigs. So Porzingis 6.4K to me is an excellent play. He got benched a little bit too in the last Knicks game, which was surprising. The fact that Hornacek is benching Porzingis in the fourth quarter. But Porzingis still very fair price. So to me, safe. I'll say safe for all formats, question mark, but definitely a really good tournament play. Aaron Gordon, really good cash game play and probably safe for all formats. Just too cheap. Remember, that's if Vucevic's out. Other than that, you got Willie Cauley-Stein, Marvin Williams. What happened to Thaddeus Young, by the way? Can anyone tell me that? He's been non-existent. Not playing many minutes. I mean, just garbage can. John Lure. You guys want to play some John Lure? Let's have some fun. Let's get crazy on this slate. Let's play a little John Lure. He had 25 Fandom points last night because, of course, he did. 2 out of the last 3 games, he had over 25 Fandom points against Indiana. Bobby Portis. It's hard to trust Bobby Portis because the minutes, just when you think you can trust him, the minutes, they go back down. I wish he could get over 30 minutes. He's not. But you can play him in tournaments. You can attack Orlando bigs. Other than that, let's see. You got Mirotic in tournaments. You could maybe use a little bit. Trey Lyles? Maybe Trey Lyles get some minutes for Utah? Probably not. Only got 4 last game. I feel like I'm leaving someone out, but whatever. Center, Karl-Anthony Towns, 10.9K. I love attacking DeAndre Jordan because he's overrated defender. But 10.9K, that's expensive. If I play Towns, I got to play some Rubio as well. Do I want to play 2 Minnesota guys against Clippers? I'm not sure. I will. I definitely will in one lineup. Cousins, 9.5K. Now that's just too cheap for him. It's just too cheap. He's been good. He was in foul trouble last game. Or last game was against Utah. I don't count that. Going up against Gobert, not counting that. Otherwise, he's going to get you. I think his floor is like 40, and his ceiling is like 60. So to me, now are you gonna have the money to use him in cash? I don't know, but I think you can do it in any format you want. Let me see what his price is on DraftKings real quick. On DraftKings, he is 9.9K. So he's very, very fair price on both sides. Center is a loaded position, though. So Whiteside, I love Whiteside, 8.5K. He gets Charlotte. Man, I love feasting on the Charlotte bigs. Kaminsky stinks, but he's out. Zeller's a big, goofy white guy. Marvin Williams, it's Marvin Williams. So if Whiteside could just get minutes and stay out of foul trouble, his floor is like 30 Fandom points and the ceiling is like 55. So Whiteside, I think it's a good play on this slate. Andre Drummond, tournaments only. Just can't trust him for minutes. And he can never stay awake. He'll get 30 minutes. It's him and Reggie Jackson, man. They'll both get 30 minutes. If you basically pray to get 30 minutes, him and Reggie Jackson. Rudy Gobert. I'm not sure how excited to be about this spot for Rudy Gobert. So it's against Houston, playing way up in pace. I'm thinking about all the extra possessions that Rudy Gobert is going to see, or Utah is going to see. Think about all the bricks that Harden, Ariza, Lou Williams, Gordon, Decker, all those guys are going to throw up. Think about all the rebounds that Gobert is going to be able to get. So to me, Gobert, safe for all formats on this slate. He could have like 25 rebounds. And he's got a ton of easy buckets as well. DeAndre Jordan, 7.5K. Fine. If you play him, I like teaming him up with a Chris Paul. He hasn't been the last few games. It's been disappointing for me. I've used him every time, every game since Chris Paul has been back. He won me money 1 out of 4 times, I think. Dwight Howard. So Dwight gets Brooklyn, and Dwight's too cheap. Dwight's 7.1K. Dwight's very similar to Drummond these days. They don't get many minutes. They get around 30, and they stumble and bumble around 30, 35 Fandom points. And Dwight's a little bit cheaper than Drummond. So Dwight has a better matchup. Probably like Dwight a little bit over Drummond. Although I still think Drummond's got a better ceiling because Dwight is 75 years old, and at least in terms of his body's broken. His back's broken. His knees are broken. I don't know. You can't, if you watch Dwight play, he can't jump anymore, by the way. Every rebound just falls in his lap. Watch him play. It's painful to watch him move. Other than that, Miles Turner, tournaments only. Miles Turner has not been good. I haven't used him in a while. The fact that he's going to get some Andre Drummond defense, that's interesting to me. Playing against someone who's asleep. Gortat, I don't even know if he's still going to be starting. Hernan Gomez, I don't know what the Knicks are going to do at center. Are they going to start Porzingis at center? If Hernan Gomez starts, I want to attack the Bucks bigs. So if Hernan Gomez starts, I think he's a pretty good play. Cody Zeller, very safe play, I think, at 5.8K. Mostly a cash game play, probably. It's just safe floor, not a monster ceiling. Mason Plumlee, if Jokic is out, Plumlee safe for all formats. A nice floor with a big bit with some upside as well. And then you go Robin Lopez. He had 28 FanDuel points last game against Detroit, so he destroyed the sleeping giant that is Andre Drummond. So it makes me more inclined to even play some Miles Turner on this slate. Robin Lopez is dirt cheap, so if you want to use him, you can. Bismack, his price finally went up, 4.6K. Without Vucevic, though, remember, Orlando has no backup center, really. So he's going to play like 35 to 40 minutes, and that's still a really fair price. So to me, at 4.6K, you can almost lock and load him in cash games if you want at that price. Let me see what he is on DraftKings. On DraftKings, yeah, DraftKings they do a much better job. So he's 5.5K on DraftKings. Does he have much of a ceiling? Not really. So FanDuel, a great play. On DraftKings, yeah, you probably can do a little bit better. All right, that's it. That's a slate. So a fun 11-game slate on Wednesday. If you have any questions, feel free to tweet at me at DanielAGreen1. And remember, when I tweet out the show, retweet it out. If we get 100 retweets, which, come on, guys, we have like 5,000, 6,000 people listening to this podcast. All we need is 100 retweets. If we get 100 retweets, then hopefully I will give you guys a 5-10 minute audio clip or a little video giving you my top plays based on all the injury news around 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. All right, that's it. My voice is hoarse. Now I must go to bed. For the bailiff, for me, court is adjourned.